How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Ohio Legendary Tier American Battleship again. This one is another match with Hoshino, the new commander that I've decided to start using on Ohio with sort of a hybrid secondary build slash accuracy slash reload build. Honestly, you could probably argue that this is a pretty decent brawler commander as well, because you do have a lot of commander skills that give you reload and also turret traverse, so you can get your turrets around quicker, especially for things like drive-bys and whatnot. This match, 4 enemy destroyers, enemy Kaba already farming us from over 12 kilometers away, so we know he's going to be an absolute pest to deal with. Not the most fun, and there's also 2 Kabas on the other team, so yeah, we're gonna be in for a pretty rough time just because we're pretty much gonna be getting set on fire kind of a lot. Enemy Iwami, flat broadside. A lot of their team is actually quite flat broadside, but Iwami is probably the more juicy target because Iwami is easier to citadel than the other battleships that are currently broadside, especially Montana being a little angled away, as we score a double citadel and get 2 stacks of our plotting room pretty much right away. We did go a little broadside to the Vermont in order to get that shot off, but we already knew that we were going broadside to a lot of ships, so we waited until our rudder was, I guess, ready to turn back in before we shot, so we didn't really get caught with our pants down. Pot shot at the Vermont, we actually get a citadel. It's kind of surprised. I didn't think I was going to get one of those this far away, but we did, and well, we have another stack of our plotting room. Enemy Schlieffen charging in. Not really sure what our team in the bottom left is doing, and that's going to be kind of the, I guess, thing of this match. What is our team doing in the bottom left? Enemy Schlieffen charging in, relatively broadside. Want to try to get rid of him before he closes the gap to the islands and basically gets to torp and sonar secondary all of our ships sitting at that one island. I mean, we got the middle spawn. This is a pretty good spot to be because we can shoot both flanks, and I guess it's currently paying off. Enemy Kaba, pretty low. I think he ate torps trying to farm the friendly ships that are in the bottom left. Not getting the best dispersion on the Schlieffen though. Kind of hoping for citadels at some point, but we're not quite getting them. Schlieffen still charging in. Enemies in the top right, kind of just, I guess, just chilling there, not really pushing in, which works in our favor because it just gives us time to kind of do what we need to help the left side. Not sure what the Kleber's doing. He's the furthest away, and yeah, friendly Kaba charging straight in. Not the best thing that I've seen in this match. Schlieffen is very healthy and probably has sonar considering he's charging in. Enemy Kaba is also there in support. We tried to do our best to dev strike the Schlieffen to possibly save him because he's basically charging into a bunch of secondaries, torpedoes, and well, another destroyer. I'm kind of assuming Kaba might be able to get off torps and at least trade with the Schlieffen at this point, so we decide to focus the Kaba and maybe get one of them out because I'd rather not have to deal with 2 of them beyond 12 kilometers. Throttle jockey, juking, and basically burning us down the whole match. We get a pretty decent salvo, but obviously we get a bunch of overpens, and now that the Kaba realizes that we're trying to shoot him, he decides to finally start turning away. And then he also goes unspotted because he's far enough away to go unspotted. Friendly Kleber, yeah, unfortunately I don't know if he understands what he's doing. Enemy Shima actually ends up dying to Yamato, but he also dev strikes the Yamato. Would have been good if the Kleber was somewhere nearby the Yamato to spot him before. He could have had a torp angle on the Yamato and, you know, shotgunned him at point blank range. But yeah, Kleber unfortunately wasn't super helpful for that flank, and yeah, he's not really going to be that much more helpful for the rest of the match, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Hopefully he gets in to spot either the Kaba or the Schlieffen so we can figure out what we really need to do, because now there's going to be a Schlieffen behind us and there's a bunch of ships in front of us. The enemy Vermont and Conch did end up going towards the second Kaba that we were just shooting at, and unfortunately they're not all in one spot on the map. There's a couple enemy battleships, the Iwami and Montana, on the side with our Daring in front of us, so there's kind of a bad potential for a crossfire, and we'd rather not get caught because well, that's a quick death for us. I hear our friendly battleship shoot, and since Kaba has been farming him, I decided to shoot in front of him because I assumed that well, he was going to try to throttle jockey our friendly Iwami B shells, which he did. Iwami missed, but shooting in front of him, Kaba ends up eating our shells, which is great. Now Kaba only has a bar left. Not sure if he has heals or not, but Kaba needs to go. We shoot our front guns at him as just the pot shot, hoping something happens. Pinging our Kleber for some intelligence data. But yeah, we're not getting anything out of him, as he's not even really trying to get back in the battle. He's kind of just sitting there on the border. Kind of unfortunate. It's always destroyer players that stick out like a sore thumb whenever they're clueless, I suppose, and it just makes them look even worse. But now we're kind of in a bad spot. Those battleships that I mentioned are still unspotted. Montana is pushing back towards the middle spawn of theirs, and yeah, this is a crossfire position, and that's the last thing I really want. Montana can definitely lob over that island, and we're kind of stuck trying to angle towards where more ships are. And well, we don't have prop mod. We have the damage con mod, which is kind of what saves me since we don't have fight fire with fire. And there's the enemy Schlieffen, there's the enemy Conch, and there's the enemy Vermont shooting over the island directly in front of us. So pretty bad timing. Fortunately, we already knew we were in a bad spot, so we got into reverse as quickly as we could to try and make up for how bad not having prop mod is. And well, double fire, kind of unfortunate. Trying to time my DCP 20-second active time with the Conch's reload as best I can, just so I can kind of get out of here. Fortunately for us though, we do have fully packed, and there's a couple battleships near us, so our heal and damage con should be back pretty quickly. I think the heal is going to be sitting around 30 seconds with fully packed, and our DCP is about a minute. So pretty good for not having any real firefighting skills, either fight fire with fire or firefighter. We are reversing very slowly, and obviously this is the bug that I always reference whenever I see Bowen reversing, things reversing away faster. Prop mod only increases or rather decreases the time it takes to reach max speed. It's not supposed to increase your max speed, so that's why you reverse in ships at 19-20 knots with prop mod, and then without it you reverse at 12-13, which is what it's supposed to be. Prop mod is only supposed to help you reach that 12-13 knot reverse speed, not make you reverse at 19-20. So yeah, that's my gripe, and always will be, because that's why there's so much bound reversing, and like that's the main tactic most people use. And a lot of the time, if people miss position, they are kind of bailed out by the mod. Obviously, I just bowed in and reversed away, but that's because I already took into account the need to do it well in advance, because I already knew it was a bad spot. But others will just simply do it like last minute when they get absolutely nuked, and then all of a sudden they're just reversing away to the border and nothing you can do. But yeah, we've reversed away, we've gone unspotted. Now we have some time to pop a few heals. Enemy Vermont did lose a lot of his HP. Enemy Schlieffen is still alive. Kleber finally finds his way towards the battle, and I guess he's close enough that he can actually torpedo, which is kind of surprising. He spent his whole like first 10 minutes of the match on the 10 line, and he's finally near the objective. Enemy Schlieffen starting to charge out. Take a pot shot over the island, kind of hoping that we could hit him, because the last thing I want is for Schlieffen to come around the corner, torpedo, and I really can't reverse away much faster anymore. So trying to do as much damage as we possibly can. Unfortunately, our teammates aren't as lucky. Schlieffen finally decides to get around the corner, but our front gun dispersion is pretty good. We get enough damage on him that we finish him off. Conk, full HP, kiting away. Now there's an opportunity to push in. We can push in, hopefully finish off the Vermont pretty quickly, and then we can just focus the Conk. I mean, we do still have the friendly Daring still alive, and he probably will, I guess, delay or make the Conk have to worry about him. So he's not 100% focused on us while we try to deal with the Vermont. We also have, well, about 200, we're at 260. Pretty healthy Conk in their spawn, relatively healthy Vermont for potential for a 300k match. We start pushing out. I do hold my shot though because I'm trying to turn out. I'd rather not shoot and get spotted by the Conk, although in hindsight he's still behind the island, so I probably could have gotten away with shooting sooner. But secondaries start lobbing, so we pop our funny button. Kind of important to have the funny button now that we don't have Porcupine. Spotter plane is also very good, but I kind of feel like I need the secondary funny button a little more than the spotter plane with this build. Vermont trying to reverse away. He did pop a heal, but that's not enough to survive the fires that we started with secondaries. And our next salvo with our main guns. 275,000. Conk is more than healthy enough to get us over 300k. Although we see those Daring torps and he's turning into angle towards us, and not really worrying about the Daring as much as I thought he would. So kind of unfortunate. He eats 3 torps and all of his HP is gone. Our salvo doesn't quite finish him off, but our secondaries do pick up the kill and secure our Kraken. Unfortunate, not a 300k, but we did get a Kraken. Still a great match nonetheless, even though we had seen a lot of questionable things this match. Also over 3k for just sitting and farming damage, I suppose. And yeah, a lot of questionableness in this match. But middle spawn, I think, is the only spawn on this map that's, I guess, fine. Scandinavia, not my favorite. Both flanks kind of suck, in all honesty. If you don't push in, you get stuck at those islands. And well, I mean, if you do push in, you get crossfired from the middle. So it's just a bad map all around. Kind of unfortunate. The other maps in this game are kind of better. Especially the recent one. I think it's called New Dawn. Much better than Scandinavia. But Hoshino build, we have Hipper and Haruna as inspirations. And again, sort of a hybrid secondary build. Would be nice if we actually had a proper hybrid commander like Henry J. Hyde. Although that might be too good for ships like Ohio and Massachusetts. But then again, I feel like people would probably still just build it normally for accuracy like they would. And it's not that different than what we already have, especially with New Jersey. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more and share it with your friends. Or leave a comment down below on other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway guys, until next time, aloha.